Presented by AfterBuzz TV, where integral members of the WWE, Cathy, Kelley, Sonya, Deville, and Christy St. Cloud started their careers. This is Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly, the first online pro wrestling show dedicated to all things women's pro wrestling, showcasing news and interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz's own gorgeous hosts of wrestling.
Welcome, guys. You are watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly, where we talk all things women, all things pro wrestling. My name is TK Trinidad, and beside me we have America's sweethearts, the one, the only Evan T. Mack.
What's going on, girl?
What's going on? Are you good?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging tough, girl. New kids on the block.
Hanging tough. We'll talk about that later.
We will.
Anywho, we're going to have an amazing show for you guys. We're going to be talking WPW Star of the Week. We have some wrestling news, and we have a very, 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 very special guest, Ring of Honor wrestler. She lives in the gray area. Please welcome Stella Grey. Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Can't complain. So let's just kind of get started. So I've done, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've done a lot of interviews, and I find a lot of the women, they kind of start watching wrestling, but they don't really get into it too early, maybe other than Paige. You've been interested in wrestling since you were 13?
Probably since I was like a toddler. Like I remember watching WWE or WWF, I guess it was back in the day.
Yeah.
But I didn't get like really passionate about it until ECW. My brother showed me, like I was just walking by his room one night and he showed me an episode, I guess you'd say. And that's when I so it was about that time. That's when I became like really passionate about it, was ECW days.
That's crazy. It's like those kids who like decide they want to be a doctor and that's like all they want to do. Like I really, really respect that. So like you said, you started kind of around that time. Who were like your main inspirations?
God, everybody at the dojo makes fun of me because I'm like a hardcore ECW fan, and if anybody talks crap about ECW, I will literally hunt you down.
Oh my.
Like, it's just my heart and my soul. Like I'm from Philly, I can't help it. But like I was such a huge Tommy Dreamer fan. What got me in was Beulah McGillicuddy, was watching the match with her and Fonzie, and like he was just bloody and a mess, and she won the match, and it just like blew my mind that a girl could not only wrestle but beat a guy, and it was not something you saw every day. And so it wasn't like a traditional wrestling match, obviously, but that's what opened my eyes more to like Trish Stratus and Lita and all that, and I just kind of fell in love with the wrestling aspect of it, but then also the craziness of ECW, and there were just no rules in that. So, yeah, I don't know. I like all different styles, I guess.
And now between then and then finally getting to the dojo, like what transpired to say, okay, I'm going to commit to this and I'm going to make this, my living, my dream?
Well, when ECW closed, I kind of like fell out of wrestling. Like I was that much of a fan that once ECW closed, I was like never gonna watch wrestling again. It broke my heart. It wasn't until I found out about like Ring of Honor and CZW. It was like local indie companies like from Philly that kind of had that, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like the heart of ECW. It kind of reminded me of it, so that's what made me get into it. And I like out of nowhere, like I just stopped watching it for the longest time, and then probably about like a couple years ago, I just started really getting passionate about it again, and then I just one day Googled top wrestling schools in the country, and Ring of Honor was number 2, and it was literally 10-20 minutes from my house.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, so
it's kind of meant to be.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Can you take us through like your experience in the dojo? Like, what was that like? Tell you your feelings before getting in there, and then like how it was getting through the dojo.
So deciding to sign up, I literally was going back and forth every day whether to do it or not. And my brother inspired me because he was working at the insurance company that I worked at, and he quit his job and moved to New York to be a stand-up comedian.
Wow.
So I kind of thought, like, well, if he has the cojones, I guess you'd say, to do that, why can't I follow my dream? So I remember walking in the dojo the first day and being scared out of my mind, not knowing what was going to happen. But everybody was very sweet, very welcoming, and they're very sweet, like, the first 10 minutes, and then they put you through boot camp, and the pleasantries are over. they basically have to test your body and put it to the limit.
Mm-hmm.
They have to see if you're able to handle it. Like the first 2 months, I say, is absolute hell. Once you get through that, it gets slightly easier every day. It's hell the first two. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Hell. The first months, like I remember dreaming of like a bed made of ice because your body's just so sore and beat up.
Oh my gosh.
I know, like I'm envisioning like, you know, like wall sits for 10 minutes and
Seriously.
you're walking like 10 miles with like a bag of flour over your head. Was it like that type of stuff, or was it more like wrestling based type stuff where you're doing like, you know, 100 air squats or something on those levels?
Well, it's kind of like a mix of like, I don't know how to describe it, like CrossFit, calisthenics, and like yoga. Mm-hmm. Which a lot of people think like, yoga. No.
Yoga's tough.
The yoga is not your normal type of yoga. Mm-hmm. Oh God. And I thought I was like, oh, I do Ddp yoga. I got this. No, I don't. No, I did not. I did not. But it's basically learning to control your own body weight, and you don't realize how heavy you are until you have to hold your own self up for very long periods of time, or doing burpees or just random stuff. Yeah.
Can you tell people, you know, that you know, say, you know, wrestling is an act, you know, wrestling's fake, it's really not that hard, anybody can do it. Can you just like paint a picture for people that don't understand how hard what you guys do is?
I get very, very annoyed with people that say like, oh, it's fake. If anybody comes up to me and say it's fake, they're really, I get really annoyed. The best way I could say it's protective fighting. Like, we're not trying to legit kill each other. Otherwise we'd bring knives to the ring. Like, honestly, it's not just fight. You are fighting, but the toll it takes on your body, like a bump, taking a body slam. Yeah, it probably looks like the safest thing a wrestler can do. You're still getting slammed on your back. You're still taking the chance of hitting your head. It hurts. What's the difference is we are trained to learn how to adapt to that. Pain doesn't bother us anymore.
Right.
There you go.
You land it wrong, randomly wrong one day, you could be out for a week. Like, it's what happened, like just I think it was back in January, I missed an elbow drop. Simplest thing, stupid, like some people could say it's a stupid move. I landed weird and I broke my tailbone.
Jeez.
Was out for months. So people can talk whatever they want to. I turned into an elderly person immediately. I was bent over, I couldn't walk. I had to sit with a pillow. That's so attractive. So people can say what they want. They have their opinions. I do get annoyed by it, but you got to learn to brush it off. And everybody's got an opinion.
I think all you have to do is show them like really bad wrestlers, which that's out there, and people who are great wrestlers, and how effortless they make it look. To see the difference. Like, you almost have to, I think you almost need to have like a backup of, you know, somebody terrible, maybe somebody you don't know or somebody you do know, and show them like, hey, this is what bad, like, does this look, you know, and saying, and then compare the two, and then, you know, you have it right there, because it's like night and day. To be able
a very good idea. That is, might have to do that.
Yeah, to make it look so flawless is absolutely like this, and you have to go and see it live. That's my biggest thing to people, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I always say, too.
I remember kind of, like, thinking of the story. I'm not going to say names, honestly, because I can't remember who that person was, but the dojo would do tryout camps, and it's all day long, and it's basically tryout to get a contract, and guys from the roster come, and I remember Jay Lethal was there the one day, and there was this one guy, and he just wasn't, like, we'll say it wasn't on his game. That's putting it nicely. So you have to do these drills and certain stuff with other wrestlers. Well, Lethal did not like the way the guy was doing it, so Lethal got in the ring with him, and he made this kid look like $1 million. I was like, how the...
Wow.
That's the same kid that just wrestled 10 minutes ago. So it just shows, like, Lethal is beyond a professional. Like, he just makes everything, like, exactly like you said, flawless and effortless. It's just a consummate professional. I don't know if I used the right word, but...
And now so, you know, you've been in the game for a few years, and we all are like work in progress. Progress is no matter where, you know, what profession we're in. What do you think, or what are you working on to kind of take your game to the next level?
That's a good question.
That's a good, I'm not even a couple years yet. God's honest truth. Like, I started training in October 2016, I think. I haven't even hit my wrestling anniversary yet. That will be in July.
Wow.
I think July 17th. So it'll be my official 1 year. But I just hired a personal trainer to basically kick my butt to basically be able to deadlift girls above my head. But the trainers at the dojo are amazing, and Berger especially has it's not like one style, which I really like. He likes the strong style, like Japanese style. He likes lucha style, obviously American, and some British as well. I love that. I wish I could be a luchador. It's kind of impossible, but I work towards it every day. Like, I love doing a Hurricane Rana, but sometimes it's impossible to do in certain situations. But I, like, at the grit of it, I'm a brawler because I'm from Philly. I don't know why. I just like a simple forearms. I feel like gets the job done a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like with Berger, he's an amazing trainer, and he comes with different videos and different ideas. And so I go to him probably like at least once a week or once a month and be like, all right, let's think of something different. Let's try something different. And it's awesome because he will think of like, well, what exactly are you thinking? And I'm like, I don't know. He's just like an encyclopedia of like an arsenal of what I could do. So
now, is there any women that you look to that's been in the game for a long period of time where you're not necessarily tailoring your game to like theirs, but you know, it's almost like a blueprint. It's like, okay, they're at this level, you know, and you respect them, and I don't know if the right word's emulate, but you know, you respect them and you look, okay, this is the level I want to be at one point in one day.
Okay. Oh God, I like take a little bit from everybody, like either personality wise or their wrestling style. Like Charlotte Flair, I think is amazing. Like, it's insane that she hasn't been doing this for 10 years with the caliber that she's on.
That's
like,
true.
She's just, there's never a bad match with Charlotte. Like, there isn't. Like, love watching her. I wish I could do half the stuff she does. Oh my God. Like, she's just, but she was a born athlete. She's very, God willing, if I could ever be on that level, I'd die. But
Don't do that.
she is what she is, and like you can't deny that. Like, a dream match that I would love to see is probably Charlotte Flair versus I'm gonna mess up this name and I apologize, Io Shirai. I can't say her name. She's from Stardom. Probably if Charlotte's not the top, I think Io would be the top.
Wow.
So that's another person I emulate towards. If I ever, God bless, get the chance to go to Stardom, that's a dream to wrestle her one day. Even somebody like Kelley Klein, like, even though she has a very tough exterior and stuff like that, but she doesn't take crap from anybody. She's very serious about the way she wrestles, and she kind of has this, you need to come at my level to even step in the ring with me, which is kind of, I don't know if I could say it, but badass.
Yeah.
It is. She's still known as a pretty badass. Like, that's awesome. And then there's people like Sumi, who I just got the chance to wrestle, and she's the most humble, sweet, giving person ever. But she's legit an MMA trained jiu-jitsu. She could break your arm in 2 seconds. So the fact that she doesn't, it's kind of nice of her. So I just love I kind of like, I'm a little fangirl. I like everybody. I like all different styles. So I don't know.
It's interesting. So, like, it's what would you say to a up and coming like young lady that wants to get into wrestling, but she feels like financially she can't afford it, or she can't do it? What advice would you give her to pursue that dream of her trying to get into the business?
I actually have a friend like this, and I'm always trying to convince her. I'm like, just do it. It is finance. Sometimes finances suck. Like, listen, I know how it is nowadays. It's hard paying bills and stuff like that. But if it's your dream, like, honestly, it's your dream, you should invest in it. Like, do whatever you can. If you like, I know the dojo does like payment or plans. Like, you don't have to pay everything up front. You can do it bi-monthly or anything like that. Like, first find a dojo that you really trust and you really like, that you feel like will help you. I hear different stories about different gyms, and I'm very grateful that I trained where I did, but if you have to make sacrifices for your dream. I'm sorry, you do. Like, if you can't go shopping at Forever 21 or Amazon for that month because you need to pay your training bill, you need to do it. Like, what's more important to you, a cute new dress or fulfilling your dream?
Wow.
Like, it's sacrifice. Listen, it's not only financially sacrifice, it's socially a sacrifice, it's physically a sacrifice. I don't think a lot of people know that. Physically, yes, probably, but socially, you give up a lot of your social life. Like, this has got to be your top priority, and a lot of friends and family don't understand that in the beginning. The ones that do love you and care will be there, but you gotta it's got to be your top priority if this is what you really want.
Wow.
And now take us through the matches. So they say, okay, you're going to be going up against this person. Do you discuss with them like what's the game plan, or do you let them take the lead because you're kind of a year into being experience wise, or what's the breakdown for that?
It depends. I guess like on indie shows, it's kind of fly by whatever. With Women of Honor, obviously everyone's way more advanced than I am. I'm the green kid, the new kid on the block. So I usually let them guide. I guess they take the reins. I literally just put up a fight, and I don't want to say wish for the best, but like I know what I can do.
Right.
But more than likely they are gonna have a counter, or no matter what.
Yeah.
They have way more knowledge than I do, so yeah, they basically they take the lead. And
but you've been holding your own. I saw a lot of your matches, and you tend to have. I think actually Brandy Rhodes was announcing one or two of them, and she said, for everything that the person would do, you had to counter for them. So you're holding your own, unless you're making it look like you're holding your own. But either way, it's all looking very good, very good to me. So I mean. What is those things that you want to work on as far as, so you hired a personal trainer, like do you want to do, like are you working towards doing like the flips like Charlotte does, or are you looking to do more something like a Nia Jax, not necessarily exact like them, but what's the kind of things that you're maybe like goals that you're working towards for this year or the next couple of months?
I do honestly. I think it's funny because I'm scared of heights. So the fact that I like doing high flying stuff, or I want to do high flying stuff, my trainers think it's hysterical because they know it will take me 20 minutes just to get up. Of trying to, but yeah, I do. Like my dream is to do like a moonsault, whether off the top or like off the top onto the floor. I don't know if I could do it, but if it's what I want to do, eventually I have to do it. I have to get over the fear. I do like the idea of submissions. Like Kelley and Diana show submissions can end a match very quickly. So I want to work more on high flying stuff. The brawling part just comes naturally to me. So I don't really, a punch is a punch, an elbow is an elbow. I'm going to hit you if I have anything open. But yeah, submissions, and yeah, I don't want to like jinx myself, but yeah, I'm going to try the high flying as much as I can.
Oh, I mean, I think once I have a fear of not heights, but I have a fear of falling, which is kind of weird, but I still go and do crazy stuff. And I think once you thanks for laughing at me.
No.
So I think once you kind of do it, the first time's always going to be the hardest. And then you realize, okay, my body can handle this. And then you'll get into it. It's just kind of doing it the first couple of times. And I think you'll be good. So
I know, like I came up with this. I didn't come up with it. That's a bold-faced lie. But I follow this thing on Twitter. I think it's called like Lucha Gifts, and I saw. I don't even know the luchador's name, but that's horrible of me. He did like a bounce off like each rope, and then jumped on somebody's shoulders and did a hurricane round. And I'm like, oh, do that. It took me forever just to jump on the ropes because I knew eventually I'd have to jump up in the air. But yeah, again, it took me 20 minutes. But after I did it, I wanted to do it over and over again. So.
I mean, at least you're doing it. There are a lot of people who want to do stuff and they just sit on the couch. So it's a big difference
that makes
with that.
Better. So
I'm terrified of roller coasters. I get on them, but I'm scared to death. Legitimately, just let you know. Just a full disclosure, we all scared of something.
We're scared to death of roller coasters.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's that drop.
Yeah, I get on. That's the thing, but I'm legitimately terrified.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you keep your eyes closed the whole time. You're like, why did I even bother go on the ride? I didn't see anything.
Every single picture, when they take a picture, it's like me with my eyes closed.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
So if you weren't wrestling, what would you be doing? What would you be doing if we walked through? Like, would you do insurance? What would you be doing? Like McDonald's? What would you do if you weren't wrestling?
Well, I was working for an insurance company. I don't want to talk. I'm not going to talk bad about them, but it's not as exciting as wrestling. That's how a nice way of me put it. So the days are long. It's not like with Ring of Honor shows. It could go from 8 a.m. to like 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. That's a long, long day.
It is.
That seems shorter to me than an 8-hour day in an insurance company.
Yeah, so true.
So I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to go back to insurance. I know, like, I'm just not that desk type of, like, sit at a desk and stare at a computer type of person. So it would have to be, like, something social. I don't know. Maybe even like going to psychology. I studied that for a semester in college, but something.
And now, what did your parents think when you made this decision? You went from like a 9 to 5. It sounds like I know a couple of people. I know several people from Philly, and it seems like parents are, more the old school. Like, get the 9 to 5, work there 20 years, buy the house, do all that stuff, and then when you do kind of something rogue, I mean, I know what my parents said. So what did yours?
Well, that was the funny thing. I kind of led a double life up until this past summer. I think I let them know. So I started training in October. I don't think I let them know until August, so almost a full year later. I was scared to death to tell them. I think they were. I think when I went to tell them, I think they were thinking I was dying or something because I made it so serious or something happened to me. They were shocked, I guess. They kind of weren't supportive in the beginning because they're just like, you're going to kill yourself, you're going to get hurt, blah, blah. They were basically saying like, you can't quit insurance and that's how you make your money. And so my dad is very supportive of it. He will tell me to go kick ass and stuff like that, and he'll watch the matches. My mom, she's supportive of it, but she will refuse to watch matches. She would not want me to quit insurance. She does. She's the old school type. Wants to be married and pregnant and be like an Italian housewife.
No, say no more. Italian. It's just
It's a different world.
Yeah, it's. I see how it is. Yeah. So, but you made the decision. You went for your dream, and on top of that, too, Ring of Honor is not like a lot of people who kind of go for it, and then they spend years not even to badmouth the indies, but they spend years in the indies trying to make it to somewhere like Ring of Honor or Impact. So I mean, you're starting off pretty good level.
Yeah.
I don't. I honestly wake up every day and I don't understand how I got so lucky. It's not. I don't want anybody to think like it doesn't go unnoticed how unbelievably lucky I am in the position that I am in with how little experience I am to have be a part of Women of Honor and Ring of Honor. So it does make it like a little more justifiable. Like, hey, look, it's on TV and like people know it and it's a big company and it's number 2 in the country. So it makes it a little bit easier for them to swallow that pill. But it just makes me grateful every day that I am where I am. So
for your first match, how were you feeling? Before and after. Like, what were your thoughts? Like butterflies? Like, how was it?
Oh my God, I was having a panic attack. I was legit having a panic attack, and I remember, who was it that came up to me? I think TK Orion from the Kingdom. He was making fun of me. He was like, I don't know if he was doing it to make me laugh to calm down, but it wasn't helping. He literally was like, you're going to have a panic attack. You're going to go out there. You're going to get overheated. You're going to throw up and die in the ring. I'm like, thanks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I think Jay White, he was nice. He was trying to calm me down. So were the Briscoes. Like, everybody's like a huge family in that back locker room. Like, that's another thing I love about Ring of Honor. Like, everybody wants everyone to do good. And
awesome.
Even with the new people, they will take the time to talk to you and stuff like that. So yeah, I was freaking out. I barely remember my first match because I just was freaking out. But then when I got back and all the guys coming to talk to you and ask you like, how do you think you did and what could you do better, and they'd give you advice, it kind of like, it's a very nice welcoming feeling. Like, okay, like I didn't do so bad, and they actually watch, so it shows that they care. And so very nerve-wracking in the beginning, but then very kind of, whew, that's the only way I could describe it. Like, as soon as you get it over with, like, it's like this big exhale.
Now, how long was that match?
Like time-wise?
Yeah.
I think it was like 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes.
So
but it feels it kind of feels forever.
Yeah.
But then it feels like it goes by in a blink of an eye. It's hard to describe.
So in the middle of that match, was it more of like you were going through it, and there was never a moment where like you're like, oh crap, I'm here and I'm about to, like, I don't know what to do? Or was it you had so much muscle memory and you've been doing it for enough time and you had great trainers that in the match you were comfortable, and next thing you know it was over?
I wouldn't say muscle memory, because there's still times that I screw up. Like, I don't know why, like I freak out. It's this weird perfectionist that I have. Like, everything has to go perfect. Everything has to be perfect. I got to be my best self. That I just get too much in my head and I get so riled up that there are chances that my muscle memory just shoots out and I forget stuff. I do remember there's a part that I like screwed up very badly in that match. So yeah, I was going through it and everything was good, and then I just do remember a part like crap. And yeah, you just kind of have to like bounce back very quickly, and you can't let that end it. And I don't know. it was bad, but it wasn't that bad as I thought in my head. And you just kind of, you can't stop. You got to keep going. Like, you don't quit. You just keep going.
Like thinking back to your first match, like as far as your dreams go, were you thinking to yourself after the match, like, this is definitely what I'm doing for the rest of my life? Did you ever like have any doubts before or after the match, or any being discouraged at all? Can you remember it being like that at all?
After my first match was in like North Carolina. I think it was Concord, North Carolina. It was one of the biggest crowds Ring of Honor had, so it was like extra pressure.
Yeah.
There were so many people there. I do remember like talking to Christopher Daniels, and I thought like, oh God, wasn't as good as I should have been. But then him talking to me was saying like, it's your first match, and you did very well for your first match, and that kind of like solidified like, this is what you're supposed to do. If he's saying like, for your first match, you've seen far worse, and so I'm like, well, that means I did somewhat well.
Absolutely.
It did. Like, it's this adrenaline that you can't describe, and you don't with me at least, I didn't realize it till like maybe a half hour after the match. Like, everything kind of sunk in, and I was like, holy crap, I just wrestled for Ring of Honor in front of all these people, and I survived. I didn't die, and it was really fun. So awesome. Yeah, I was hooked.
And now, where do you see? Are you the type of person who looks ahead, like 5 years? I want to be here, or are you the type of person that takes it one day at a time or 1 week at a time, as far as matches in your career?
I'm a little bit of both. My head trainer Delirious always says like, always take the little goals and the little victories, focus on that, and then you'll never feel like you failed, which is true. So I'd always like be like, I want to at least have one match, and then the next goal was I want to wrestle for Women of Honor, and then I want a TV match, and so just like little stuff like that. So my little goals is just keep wrestling, just keep getting matches. Those are my little goals every day. My big goal, like 5 years, it's hard to say where you'll be 5 years, but I honestly, I'm loyal to Ring of Honor like through and through. They born and bred me. So I'm loyal to them to a fault. I want to build up Women of Honor. Like, it's the best company in the world, and there's no doubt about it. Every women wrestler wants to come to us to compete. And I want to be champion, because you best believe I'm coming for that damn belt. You know, love you, Sumi. If Sumi still has it, I'm still coming for it, or somebody else. I want to be the Women of Honor champion, but I want Women of Honor to be the caliber of women's wrestling, and I'm going to do everything I can and train every day and try to be the best I can be to put it as I don't know, on that level that I dream it to be.
Now, a lot of the women, as far as I know contract-wise, you can let me know if it's different. They do some indie stuff here and there. So I know Brandy, unfortunately, she went to Japan for Stardom. Didn't do exactly what she wanted to do, but we know she's going to be back. Do you have kind of a goal as far as doing more indie stuff too, like going over and traveling overseas and seeing Stardom and maybe even Mexico, stuff like that?
Yes, I do. I dream of Stardom. Like, it's a lot of the girls have gone over. I think Scarlett, Kelley, Mandy, well, obviously Sumi, and Brandy. I'm not saying it's like totally out of the question. I do think it's an attainable goal of mine because of the other girls that have had that chance. I definitely would love to do that. Mexico, I would love to do, because I even though I'm Italian, I joke that I should be part Mexican because I love tequila and Mexican food so much. So it would be my downfall if I were there, because I'd be so out of shape and drink margaritas all the time. So they might think twice before hiring me. But yeah, I would love to go to the UK. I love the UK style of wrestling too. And even Australia and New Zealand. Like, I've seen a lot of like amazing wrestlers come out of there, and Australia is like my number one bucket list of where I want to travel. Wow. So I would love to go there. Anybody interested, please hit me up.
Well, speaking of that, so when's your next match going to be?
Oh God, I'm trying to think. I'm such flutterbrain. I think June 10th for Fury Pro Wrestling in Maryland, Rockville, Maryland, to be exact.
All right. And then where can people find you?
You can find me Twitter at Stella Grey 215, Instagram the same thing at Stella Grey 215, and Facebook is just Stella Grey.
Oh wait, one more question. Okay, you're from Philly, right? Okay, I'm from PA, Central Pennsylvania. It's almost like a prerequisite that you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan. Like you have to be, or you get kicked out of Philadelphia. Well, like where were you when the Eagles won, and how was your family? What was everyone doing?
Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. So my brother from New York, he got Airbnb. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
In center, like an apartment in Center City, right on Broad Street, like
Nice.
2 blocks. So we were watching the game, and I think I'm a jinx. I wasn't allowed to root for the Eagles for probably the last 10 years because every time, or Phillies, like any Philly team. So the whole entire football game, I literally had to keep my head on the phone and then like only watch replays. So when it came down to the last minute, I had like an Instagram story. I'm probably going to replay it next year. I was like, is this really happening? Like, I was trying not to get like overwhelmed, and I wanted somebody else to tell me like, yes, they really won. And we were jumping up and down. We like got, well, I shouldn't say it's Philly. I don't care. We got our drinks. We went outside. We went to Broad Street. Everybody, I feel like the whole entire city was down on Broad Street. People were setting off fireworks. Like everybody was cheering.
Man.
It was a crazy, crazy night, but like it was amazing to be a part of. I went to the parade a couple days later.
That's
it was
crazy.
the most cold day in Philly. It probably like all winter long. We didn't care. We're like, it's
Yeah, we saw people were doing some crazy stuff. But you know, you have to be happy.
like people are gonna talk crap about Philly, like, oh, they were burning the city. They did not. Okay, there's always bad apples, but if you were on Broad Street, it was mostly just like love, and like everybody's like, yeah, okay. People were standing on awnings and stuff, and there were some drunk people. Okay, but that's gonna happen every time. But it's Philly. It was our first Super Bowl. We're gonna go a little nuts. So forgive us. Come on.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We definitely look forward to all your matches. You have been, like I said, I've seen, probably haven't seen as many as Christopher Daniels, but I've seen quite a few matches.
Yeah.
You could tell the difference, and your finesse just coming along. So we definitely look forward to seeing you in Stardom all over the place. Don't forget who gave you your first interview. Just
For real.
just bring it. I'm just messing with you. I'm totally messing. I wish you all the best, and yeah, we will definitely continue watching you on Ring of Honor.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So guys, we have a little bit of time left, so let's go into 2 news stories real quick. Hit us with it.
All right, TK. Ronda Rousey gets challenged by Nia Jax
So,
at Money in the Bank.
so
What you want me to say?
oh my gosh. So we'll make this real quick. So
Girl.
Ronda Rousey, we actually got her out. I believe it was in New York. TMZ actually got her out. We asked her. She said that she wants to have kids soon, which is very, whatever. We haven't seen her in any. I believe she might be doing some live events, but we haven't seen her in any TV tapings in a long time. So this to me if Ronda gets the belt, I'm going to be very, very, very upset.
Tell me why.
Well, one, I know if she gets the belt on a media thing, it's gonna be great because it's gonna be more eyes on WWE. But on staying true to the sport and staying true to the people who've been grinding for a long period of time and staying true to not watering it down, to me it doesn't. So if I'm like what I was 3 years ago, just a casual fan, this would be awesome. But for somebody who watches wrestling
All the time,
which is essentially like a part-time job, I'm not necessarily feeling this idea. So I'm really hoping that I understand why they're doing it, but I'm really hoping that Nia retains the belt. But even Nia on that flip side, she's been grinding too.
Yeah.
But I don't know if them together will make an amazing match.
That's the question. Like, would your opinions change if the match is great and let's say Ronda wins and then she gets cashed in on it the same night? Would that change your thought process?
I mean, that would be a holy crap moment, and I definitely, that's how WWE does sometimes. So,
Sometimes.
I'm becoming a little bit of a purist, meaning that like, you invest this much time, you want to kind of see how everything goes. But, I honestly hope that she doesn't. But we'll see.
You dig it.
Hit us with that next story.
Ring that bell, Tony. Okay. Thanks, Tony. John Cena says he wants to marry Nikki Bella and have kids with Nikki Bella.
Here is the problem. I feel like now we're being hoaxed.
John, listen, first let me preface my statement. Like, John, you know I love you, man. You know I think you're the GOAT. But I got to come at you on this one. What's he talking about right now?
Yeah, I feel like now we're being hoaxed. I feel like... I feel that now... Toda Bellas, by the way, or Toda Divas, the show, we're going to be covering it starting next Wednesday at 7 p.m., just for you guys who are watching this. But I feel like this is a hoax now. Like, I feel like this was all staged. You know, you went with the proposal in the stage. Now that you're supposed to get married, I think it was last weekend. It didn't happen. Now he's going on Good Morning America or whatever morning show to say that he still loves her and he's trying to get her back because she broke up with him.
That's what he's saying.
And then that same day, Nikki was interviewed on the red carpet saying, whatever. And then she's on GMA today. It's just kind of like, it feels like it's a setup, and it feels like you're setting up for a bigger storyline, and it feels very not authentic.
Yeah, so now you're thinking to the point where this is just a total sham.
Yeah, it's a total sham, which is fine, but it's not even a believable sham.
Yeah,
like I think now you're wasting my time.
Damn.
So it's just kind of like I don't like and then why put your I don't know. Like, I mean, it's almost like borderline Kardashian. If this is true, if it's just a ruse, which we'll never find out.
Yeah.
But if it is, then it's almost borderline Kardashian.
Yeah, which is crazy because people like expect the Kardashian thing, you know, but this one they're actually like they believe in it.
Yeah.
And like they actually feel like there's true love at play here.
Yeah.
So like it's really upsetting
so
people.
if he didn't do that, I would have definitely believed it. But now it's just kind of like, you know, and like I said before, I talked about this on TMZ, is that he previously, before the breakup, he said he wanted to have kids. I think it was on Fallon or one of those late nights.
He's tripping there, though.
He said he wanted to have kids before that, and then she breaks up with him. And then it was also filmed, apparently, so we're going to see that. I mean...
And they filmed the breakup, though. I'm like...
They filmed the breakup, which... and it just feels like John, before all of this, and I know what he's trying to go for, but before all of this, you kind of respected him. Now it feels like you're doing it for what's it called, reality TV, and I hope it's not.
Me too.
I mean, I hope they do get back together, but I hope it's not all these little things for the numbers, in order to build, like, you know, the movie career and the wine and all this other stuff.
Because the numbers are good, ain't they?
The numbers are good, but I mean, when you have somebody like The Rock looming over you,
and he's looming,
right? And they had a little bit of back and forth a couple weeks ago when both their movies came out. But when you have, and I'm sure there's a healthy competition, but when you're the underdog, you know, sometimes you might do some questionable stuff.
That's a fair point.
So I don't know. I don't know. I hope not. I hope them the best.
Just speculation. She don't know, but she's like, she hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. I wish them the best. I don't really see anybody else with Nikki that can handle her.
So true.
Not in a, you know, a negative way. It just seems like
he's big time. It's boxing. Like, it's Cena. Yeah. Then where do you go from Cena?
Well, yeah. It's like, you know, and it's not even beyond that. It's just her personality. It takes a very strong person to handle her personality. Real quickly, Women Star of the Week.
Yeah.
Women's Pro Wrestling Star of the Week.
All right, so we actually just had Stella Grey on, so definitely thank you for her. Thank you, Stella, for coming on the show. This lady actually battled Stella. It's Mandy Leon. You can follow her on Mandy Leonxo, the exotic goddess. Now, when I think of goddess, I always think of Mandy Rose for some reason. So she's currently in Ring of Honor. She's also a model, actress, dancer. She's from Brooklyn, New York. For you guys who are just wondering, you know what she is: Puerto Rican, Cuban, Italian, French. Wow. She's been wrestling for a very, very long time, and she started her wrestling career in 2014. She was also in the Women of Honor Championship in 2018, but got defeated by Kelley Klein. But we're gonna see how she does. She looks absolutely amazing. So, you know, definitely on the looks wise, she's there. But I mean, there's something about her that's...
Which one is she?
She is the one in the red, I believe. But they both look amazing.
They do, they both
now she's also did numerous appearances in WWE in 2014, 2015 as Rosebud for Adam Rose.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and she went over to Stardom in 2017. So definitely look out for her for sure. Not even to be like on. I mean, I don't think it's sexist. She's a beautiful woman. On top of that, so I mean, either way, you're gonna be good to go. But that kind of marks the end for us for today. We have a couple great shows coming up for you, and then we're also going to be revving up for SmackDown, for SummerSlam.
Yep.
If you don't know what I mean, you won't find out, but I have stuff in the works revving up for SummerSlam because that's just what I do. Why are you laughing?
No, you're keeping it real.
We do have a poll that's going to be coming up. Money in the Bank. Oh, well, yeah, we can do Ronda Rousey or Nia Jax. Who do you have?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Other than that, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, AfterBuzz TV Wrestling. Also follow AfterBuzz on Twitter and Instagram, all that good stuff. For iTunes. Yeah, for iTunes. Give us 5 stars. If you don't want to give us 5 stars, don't give us anything at all.
Yep.
Definitely reading all your comments. Definitely appreciate that. You can DM us and do all of that good stuff. Follow us on WPW Weekly on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
Where can they find you, Mr. Evan?
At Evan T. Mack on Twitter and Instagram. Holla at your boy, please.
Thank you guys for watching. We know there's a lot of other podcasts all over the place, but we definitely thank you guys. And also my folks on the live chat, we definitely thank you guys for tuning in. Other than that, you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can also see me on TMZ doing a lot of crazy stuff. And I also I'm going to be on another show tomorrow morning. Follow me on my Twitter and Instagram to find out what show it is going to be on, because I'm West Indian and apparently I can never have enough jobs. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. We will see you next week.
Johan Pena.
Keven Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling. We ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.